Hello. Happy Tuesday Eve. Happy Tuesday Eve. It's, post Memorial Day bliss, I guess. That's what's happening here. My name is Chris Fair. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And tonight we will be discussing 90 Day Fiancé. Can you believe it? Have you heard of that show? I'm sure you have. Anyway, we're in season 9. This is episode 7. Please like this video as you walk into this room. As you know, you go ahead, take a seat, go ahead, turn the light on, grab a drink, grab a pillow, grab a Snuggie. Where you are, honey, if it's cold, get something cozy. I'll tell you where I am, hot. It's hot. In Southern California right now, I'm telling you right now, it feels like it's 79. I am tomato-faced. Just super red. So let's get in. Hi, my loves. Nice to see all the fun peeps in the room. Yeah, those wisdom teeth, honey, they're still in there giving me all the wisdom. So don't worry. I'm still smart. I can't believe that happened. A lot of things have happened, I guess. So my loves, just so everyone knows, last live, firework. Last live, I was going to get my wisdom teeth pulled, and then everyone scared the Jesus out of me, and so I didn't do it. And so I did not get them done. I canceled it entirely. They were like, "You want to reschedule?" I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to just keep them, I guess. That's what happened. That's what you guys did to me. So, but at the same time, also, I want to hold some space also for what's happening in the world, which is obviously what's been happening in the world is everything we know, just a lot of things involving pandemics and wars. And then currently in America, we had a horrible school shooting in Texas. And my loves, it was really devastating, and the accounts of it are just horrifying, and it's just a time in which everyone afterwards throws around blame in such a way, and I just want action. I I think that we can just go ahead and ban AK-15s or whatever that, like those automatic. There's no reason to have those automatic multiple rounds being shot with things. I'm sorry. I feel like I really have a respect for hunters. I don't hunt. I've never shot a gun in the entirety of my life. Okay, it's just not my culture, my personal culture in my community. But I have cousins that live in Texas, of all places, and they are game hunters, and they are, from all my accounts, incredibly exquisitely trained professionals that eat the whole animal and blobbity blue, and that's part of where we are. That's, oh my God, how we have survived. And so there's parts of it that I feel like we want to get, and we want Second Amendment rights. And at the same time, we don't need just automatic gun guns that just take out people. Anyway, so my God, I just want to hold some space for what's been happening, and also just put out my love for you. Thank you for enjoying this time with me. Thank you for coming here, and thank you for always just being incredibly warm and loving to me. And I love that I get to talk to you guys. So I really am so grateful for the love and warmth I have in my life, because I can only imagine, I can only imagine the pain that everyone involved in the multiple tragedies that I've talked about tonight, have gone through. From COVID, I none of my loved ones are in Ukraine, and my God, none of my loved ones have got in, had a school shooting, but I can only, imagine, and I have so much empathy for those. So God bless, God bless. Okay, so here we are. Did you get a sunburn? No, I just got done doing this Peloton. Alexander Tussaud's 30-minute club bangers. What? And yes, it's 9 o'clock. So I did it. I got done around 8:25. So then this is what happened. 2 things. It's like a 2-thing thing. I'm not quite even sure why I'm red. Probably 2 things. Then I got in the shower, like I said. And then I started to do some skincare, and it was Biologique Recharge 50, the 1970 version, which is basically formaldehyde. You can't even get it in America, just like one source, and it's like from France. God bless. And just like, it's some sort of like French skincare. You know what I'm talking about? If you know what I'm talking about, like drop, I don't know, like one of those. Is there a vat emoji, like a vat, like chemist emoji that feels very like formaldehyde ease? So, biologique recharge. I really got to take those French. Okay, we're getting into it. Don't even worry. Don't even worry about it. 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to have to put a time marker. I love you. I love you. I love you. Please like and subscribe. Here we are. Okay. What couple should we start first? 5:30. Let's start Ari and Benny because I hate them. But this actually was a good episode for me to talk about them because I will use some of their quote unquote, some of their like storylines to facilitate discussion within ourselves about how we feel about relationships and what we're presented, because in that kind of situation, if I don't love the couple, at least I can find something to talk about, and that's the actually truth. That's, by the way, the truth and the secret of most topics, jokes, answers to any question you need. You actually can go ahead and just like almost always find an A to C relatable thing for you to speak on, even if it's not quote unquote what everyone else is going to talk about and or really a direct line. So anyway, as we said, okay. Oh God. Get them wisdom teeth yanked if the dentist. Yeah, he just was like, you should, because they're there and they probably will at some point, like get impacted or infected, but they weren't. Okay, God bless God. I'm just going to go back to it. My God. So in this situation, like we wake up and, like Benny is playing, and Avi in some sort of adorable basketball hat game, and everyone is in their like, Ethiopian breakfast best. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's like so cute, but he's such a beautiful baby. And I mean, like, I don't know if I'm just like really hardcore want to be a mom, but like, like that baby, Coven too, like this little perfect little boy age. What is the, I can't stand it. These boys are so cute. Okay. Like just walking around. And when they have like their little bow legs and they're like little penguin bow legs, my loves, and then they're like fluffy hair on top of their heads, and then just like the biggest smiles, and like, oh, can you deal their big eyes, their big smile? How I want like a B-roll, honey. I mean, like, there's not one season I feel like that I haven't talked about one of them cute kids, like I really just like read hard. Oh, Brittany Lynn! Can't wait to watch this tomorrow. Always looking forward. Yes, Brittany Lynn. Meow. Okay, so means that you're probably busy, my love, and you're just like out and about, which means like, are you just like sending me a super chat while you like, I mean, about to go to bed or something, or have you not watched the episode yet? Either way, I mean, obviously I appreciate this so much. Thank you so much. What a sweet gesture. Yeah, God bless you. I love you. I hope you like curl up in a little kitty and just like snuggle in bed. Okay. Also, side note is you see, if you guys are, if you're watching on a small device, you won't be able to see her little pink duvet. But you know that like that pink in there is that fluorescent pink that is like under the certain stripes, probably one of the bolder stripes that the cat's sitting on. Do you see that? It's one of my favorite colors. I just love that fluorescent pink. There's something so girly about it. It just speaks like a 90s part of me. Anyone else? Okay. Ari causes her family to go bankrupt. Work, potato, work. Work already, potato. I see what it's saying. I don't know if it was her. She has some other siblings. We don't know what they've been giving. That sister. That sister seems like she puts her demands out there. So that sister lets her thoughts be known. I'm just saying, I know that, Ari has gotten money, but yeah, their bankruptcy court papers, I guess, dropped, but God bless, a lot has been happening in the world. So, but after this, like really cute game, he talks to his sisters. They're like, why have you called us? He's like, because the producers wanted me to do it now. We're like aiming for that like Pedro Chantel situation where like, you guys come here and you like throw more drinks at her, like that's gonna be like season 3, girls, come on. Anyway, so Every time he talks to his family, I mean, truly, he's just like, he seems like he's holding on like one loose string. Doesn't seem real strong string. And it's like he's barely even hanging on to the string. You know what I'm saying? Like he's holding on to a string with like a pinky. You know, like he's just kind of like, if this doesn't work out, sisters, and let's be honest, it's not gonna work out. I don't like her. For all the reasons why you think so. Come on. I'm going to get a green card and stay there. And they have this conversation where their basic viewpoint is like, yeah, of course you're going to stay there. Like she's dumb if she's going to like not have you stay there. Like she needs you to be there. She can't raise a baby by herself, blah, 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 blah. Sisters, you're women. You're women. Let's not smoke. Oh, blow smoke. Let's not blow smoke up your brother's ass because yeah, she can. Also, that's already happened to your brother. I don't understand. What do you mean? Women can definitely just raise kids without do nothing men. Oh, absolutely. Oh, easy. No, yeah, for sure. It happens like literally all the time. Also, men raise kids. The moral of the story is yes, she can. Also because she has her family who just like throws money at her all the time, you know, like, and has been kind of paying for everything. I'll tell you what, Ari absolutely needs Mimi. I don't think she needs Benny. I don't understand why his sisters like lied to his face, I guess. You know, I think I was just kind of like, okay, when someone here like has some emotional intelligence to like right a right and right a wrong. So anyway, so then we get to her family, right? And they're going to go to this beautiful, I mean, really nice dinner. They're late to it. They're all sitting there, you know, God bless. I feel like they're all sitting there. They're just like, these MFers, you know what I'm saying? They have this reality show. They think they're like God's gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are they so late? He has to be like, by the way, like, Ari, will you like not be late? She's like, yeah, it's like her own family. Come on, come on. I was like, what are you doing? No offense. Like, Ari, I love you so much. But like, no, I don't. But I mean, we don't know each other. I don't hate you. Just, you don't love me. You know, God bless. You don't know me. Great. All I'm saying is, there's no reason for you to be late because my love, it was just like frizzy pigtails, or like frizzy pigtails. Her hair was like braid. It was like no, it was like braids, pigtail braids, which is fine. God bless it. God bless it. But like, I don't keep your whole family waiting for that. I mean, only because like I did pigtail braids today. And then like I rode a horse and I had like a helmet on and like I took the helmet off and like, you know, it's like if I wouldn't be like late rolling to a family dinner 2 hours later and keep the hair, you know. Especially because I'm on TV. So anyway, my God, so we get into this like family dinner, and the family is like been waiting to like just throw questions at them. Like they're so excited, like the sister specifically, like all the families there, and he like wants to be close to the family because he's close to his family, and basically he has no one else in the country, and so it's like he has to like win them. And I've always thought that like Ari's family parents and mom has been like somewhat nice to him, in especially because we have seen like overreaching abusive parents in the past. I don't think that's Ari's mom. I think Ari's mom has like and him have like had conversations and stuff where she's trying to like mitigate things, I guess, for the benefit of, I don't know, but for the benefit of her grandson. And whether she has inserted her nose into certain situations, that you could argue that, okay, I'm not going to die on that hill. But in this situation, it's like her and her sister, and they're like talking like, oh, what's your plan? And they're asking both of them. And, every time they ask, Ari, she doesn't have an answer. Well, basically, she's the one that kind of has to have like the immediate answer because, Benny can't work. But Benny is like wrestling. Oh, yeah, honey. Wrestling me. Big time wrestler. The Rock. Can you smell what I'm cooking? It's Ethiopian cooking, which is great. Really, really good food. Have you ever had Ethiopian cooking? In West Hollywood, below West Hollywood in LA, there's Little Ethiopia. And Juan and I went there once to, I think, Rahel's vegetarian or vegan cuisine. And parts of it were yummy and parts of it were interesting. They have this bread, and I forgot the name of the bread. It's not bread. Bread is what I'm going to use as my like American word. It really is just like a facilitating, carby, spongy, like facilitator scoops situation that is, well, I said spongy, texturally interesting. Anyway, so moving on. So he's like, want to be a wrestler, and they're like, cool, cool, cool. Is there anything else we can do that like to make money? And the dad kind of says this, and dad's like, yeah, back to that dancing. And I was like, oh, what is the dad think he's gonna do dancing? Like what? Okay, so Benny is a break dancer. Am I right? My loves, I can't remember. What kind of dancing does Benny do? It's like break dancing, right? Like club dancing. Is it all the dancings? Is it like ballroom? No. Is it Ethiopian like African dance? And I only want to know the answer is what could he make money doing in America with that? And I'm saying he could for sure. Like what I'm saying is like he could teach. I just want to know like what his level is. And if he would just like teach or audition for things, dancing. Like if he's like a phenomenal break dancer, if he can like flip and stuff like that, can we, like he can, I mean, New York is right there and he wants to be in New York. So anyway, now here's where it gets a little weird. He's like, my chief dream is to be a wrestler, 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 wrestler. And they're like, cool. Do you also like have this desire to like be with our daughter slash sister? Like, is that all like a priority at all? Or do you just come here for that wrestling? They grill him about like whether he's gonna go out. He's like, yeah, I used to go out, when she left so much, and like there's a reason why is because it was so lonely. And the sister's like, yeah, but also when I would just like call my sister and FaceTime her when she did live there, you were never there, never home. And that's when she was there. And he's like, Ari's like, it's hard sometimes because he doesn't really speak English very well and the communication's hard. Then he basically is like, if things don't work out with Ari and I still would like the green card. And the fact that he says, I would like green card, he says green card, gulp, gulp, gulp. I mean, he takes the air out of the room. The sister and the mom are like, they shoot eyes at Ari. Like, if this is, okay, let's just say, like, okay, with me, I lied. That you are Ari. Okay, so you're Ari. And, like, let's just say they're like, and he's like, if Ari and I break up, I would still hope I get green card. They're like, uh-huh. Great, yeah. If it doesn't work out, if it doesn't work out with our sisters. Okay, well, great. This restaurant looks yummy. Can I get the burrata? By the way, the restaurant did look yummy. Everything in Princeton looks gorgeous. Like every facade looks gorgeous except for their apartment. Anyway, he plays butt bongos. I love Ethiopian bread. It wasn't, you know what? I have to give it another shot. At least Benny was honest. Yes. He's not wrong. He has two kids in the US. Like, yeah, I'm sure he does want to be in the US. But I mean, like, yeah. Ari says it, which is what I want to talk about. Sometimes I feel like I love Benny more than he loves me. Now, when she said that, we were all like, yep, yeah, yep. I don't think, tell me in a comment or when this is posted, if when Ari said that, if you were like, no, Ari, no, he definitely loves you. No, 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 he loves you. He just has his own way of saying it, showing it, never showing it. I think he's nice to her when the cameras are on. He needs certain things from her. I don't think that in a time where a choice was to be made that he would pick his relationship with her over like his own wants and needs in the moment. Okay, so Honey Rider, let's get in. MMA. MMA is more kickboxing than wrestling. Speed and agility are paramount. Okay, okay, okay. Honey Ronnie. He wants to be with his kid if Ari doesn't want him anymore. Okay, okay. He did clarify that later. He did say if Ari doesn't want me anymore. But he didn't say that at first. He said it in such a way, and he also, of course, because we're privy to his conversations, multiple conversations with his sisters, where he's basically like, "Yeah, you know, I'm doing this because basically Avi, you know, so if I try to work things with Ari, but we'll see. It's never like she's the love of my life, and I know that we have issues, but she gave birth to my child, and he's so sweet and adorable, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him, and so I'm going to change. It's not quite the tone. I'm going to, Do I feel like when Benny can move around America because he either has a car and a job and has money or any of those things, that he won't do such a thing? Such live like even even more to his liking than Ethiopia, only because there's a lot of things to explore here for someone who wants to be out at night. I love some of the conversations they have, like what's a club and where's a bar. um, Ari complained the love right out of the relationship. If he loved her, he would have flipped the table after the wine face mask. Great point. If she didn't have a baby, I think she'd go after Leandro instead. So, I mean, you're all saying stuff, so you're all saying stuff. Okay, so my loves, let's move on. So, by the way, there was no Thais and Patrick, so we can't really talk about them. But we can talk about Miona and Jibri, who were not on last episode. So we're picking up in Miona and Jibri, honey. They have picked up matching pink camo. No, like flannel. They're not camo. It's like pink, thick mountain man ranch style flannels. Like, because it's like not like it's not 90s flannels that are kind of like the Alanis Morissette flannels that were kind of like thin and long. They're big. They make like I feel like those flannels are made of like tarp material. They're just so, whatever. Sorry, I'm like blocking people. Bandana flannel. Yeah, it's like they just, I don't know if it was like an Etsy situation where they just got like Boot Barn flannels in two sizes. Pink. It doesn't make a difference what sex, right? And they then put up a barrage of pictures of them dressing alike and somewhat looking alike, which is a little LOL because we've talked about her blackfishing. And then we have like this sort of like, yeah, again, montage of them wanting to look alike, which is he's like biracial and she's like Serbian, Romanian gypsy, perhaps, of that origin. But she does roll up to this grandma farm in, a full curly haired piece. She's such a big fan of like ponytail extensions of different textures, which is LOL a little bit only because in my life, I was offered the chance to get a ponytail extension. I can't tell if I should or not. And then can you just, I'm so sorry, not to take like a whole situation and take it about me, but will you tell me if you think I would look good with a ponytail extension, or do you think it would look a little cheap and also like I'm wearing a ponytail extension? You tell me. Thanks. Anyway, so at the same time, I do think that she pulls off things that I can't pull off. She has a different look. It's very Kardashian, you know. God bless. So they roll up to this grandma's farm, and it's Jibri's mom, his strong biracial mom's mom, who is a somewhat loving or somewhat lovely liberal. She is 100% lovely, somewhat liberal is what I want to say, I think, or more liberal than his mom, lesbian rancher. Great. So in what she says is a very conservative state. Wonder what that life is like for her. So I'm like, oh my God. In this moment, I was like, woo, it's a very interesting part of this equation. And I feel like a lot of the fakeness that happens between Miona and Jibri, I'm like, oh, can we also like have a lot more of her story? What's your life like? Would be great. Because like Miona liked the grandma, and she kind of was like, what's it like living with my daughter? And Miona was like, not great, you know, like she like makes fun of the way I dress, and she's like, the way I dress, blah 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 blah. And the grandma's like, yeah, you know, my daughter's more conservative than me, as I said. And then I almost in that moment was like, what if they were like, do you mind if we come live with you? Because at this point in my life, I kind of would like that for lots of reasons. A, it would give Jibri's mom perhaps a moment of to be like jealous and or sad and or mad that her son was like turning his back on her and taking his like future wife to live with her mother. It would just like be really great for me because I didn't like the way Jibri's mom psychologically manipulated conversations in such a way where I felt like it was very therapist-y, where he was expressing frustration with her and she was kind of like, is it really about me or is it about you? And he was like, I don't know. So anyway, because of that, and because it was kind of smarmy of her, I would love to see her squirm. I'd like to see her squirm. By the way, yes, Ethiopian bread is called injera. 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 I'm so sorry, I can't say it as well. Lots do suck. Okay, so high ponytail is the Hollywood phrase. Yeah, J-Lo, Adriana. I know that. And I would love a facelift. But I just think they sometimes look so fake that I'm like, I mean, it doesn't look like, I mean, the hair does, you know? My friend is cracking up. She grew up in Rapid City, Snooze Fest. Oh, I mean, yeah, like I want them to move in with the grandma, and I want the mom to feel pressed about it. Because I want the mom to feel like she didn't make the situation very conducive. But I also want, you know, Miona to learn how to cook. And so I feel like, what if the lesbian grandma has them move in, but they like not only do they cook, but they kind of like help them with the farm animals, and then like, you know, they all get together and learn about each other and their cultures and lives. But anyway, I'll tell you exactly what happens after this. We, for some reason, like don't get this scene until then it's referenced in a whatever flashback that, honey, he has talked to David. And I mean, David sounds like he just like literally lives in like the Bronx. That accent is crazy. Anyway, so David's like, yo, I just got this producer that's gonna help us. No, you need to come. But it's like Chicago. I don't even know, but this accent is bananas. So it's like, you have to come to Chicago basically to like this producer. And like Jibri is like, I have to get married in 90 days. And they're like, we know you're on a reality show. That's why we're doing this. So we can get some sort of like live performance show on 90 Day and help the band, which is why you're on the reality show. And so Jibri's like, okay, David. So then he has to go talk to Miona about it. And he's like, Miona, I have to go to Chicago, play this like super important show or work with a producer, or it's very confusing exactly what it is. Like David doesn't really make, it's like, and I don't know exactly how music is, but I'll just say that like there's a producer involved, that something could happen that's huge and life-changing, and I don't know what it is really, and I don't think Jibri does. And Miona's just going along for it, okay? She's like, so Miona's like, yeah, so like I obviously have to go with you. He's like, well, you could stay here. She's like, with your mom? No. I'm sick of like having to like let down all my skims. Like taking all the seams out of my skims, wearing like my loose floppity skims everywhere because I'm such a Kardashian lover. There's no other like full frontal, full coverage I own. Anyway, so she's like, you have to go to Chicago. And he's like, okay, well, if you're going to go to Chicago, like, are you going to be cool to David? She's like, no, wrong question. Maybe. And he's like, what do you mean maybe or whatever? She's like, well, he has to be cool to me. I'm just like, I'm going to be not defensive if he's like mean to me. I can't talk, whatever. She's like, but basically she's like, if he comes for me, I'm going to come for him. So don't ask me if I'm going to be cool. You should ask your friend if he will treat your lady with respect so she doesn't have to come out of pocket. Or whatever she's going to say. Something like that. So Jibri, of course, just like, my mom was right. You do put pressure on me. And then Miona's like, look, and also if I come to Chicago, like, guess what? I haven't gotten one thing I've wanted this entire time. Not a one. I'm still using all the old palettes I brought over. So all you bought me is like all this like matching like boot shit. I'm never going to wear this kind of stuff. I want to go to LA or New York. I haven't been, not even once, not even like one little trip, like show me what it's like to come back so I can at least have the like conversation, like the 90-day conversation where I'm like, let's move here. And then, like put pressure on you. And it's a whole conversation. Like I haven't even had that. I've had nothing happen for me this entire time. And the only thing I want is a beach wedding, and it's anywhere you want. There's lots of beaches that you could do just find a beach. That's all I want. If I'm going to go to Chicago, you better get me a beach wedding. Now Jibri acts like, honey, like this is over the top. Like, I can't believe you're giving me the ultimatum that I have to do one thing for you, and I've just done everything I've thought of and wanted the whole time. I've just made you do it. I mean, seriously, that's my point. Like, I don't care. Like, people are like, yes, Miona should have cooked a better meal for the one meal. That's like a weird thing. But also, I think Jibri also should have like made it a thing where like we're not gonna get Green Giant pasta frozen casserole. We're gonna boil water and make normal pasta, or just get a rotisserie chicken and pull it apart. Put it on a plate, like straight up. Like side note is there like one thing on Twitter where like some girl was like, wifey material, just cooked for my man. And then someone was like, she had put a picture of the thing she cooked was like fried chicken and biscuit and like fries. And they were like, it's Popeyes. It's a whole ass dish of Popeyes. We know it. We know the way it looks. We know the gravy. I know the minute I saw the gravy, I was like, I could taste it. The sausage gravy with little bits. I was like, Anyway, you could have done that. I don't even know. You know how easy tacos are? I feel like tacos are easy. Anyway, because it's all just toppings. Like all you do is just like, I mean, I think I talked about tacos before. I think tacos are like the perfect food. Anyway, God bless. Help. Anyway. I think I have my mods in here, so I know that you guys are just like doing your stuff for me right now. I love you all so much. I'm sorry. Anyway, so basically that's what happens, and let's move on. So let's go on to Kara and Guillermo. So Kara has her 10-year high school reunion. And, if you looked up Kara's LinkedIn, it's like, all over the place. So right now it would read, she is the CEO, honey, of her own business, which is Balloonin', which is great. Actually, listen, again, if this works out for her, God bless. She could be listen, specifically now that she's on like a reality show, she could start her own Event services business. If I were her, I'd go around, meet some friends, one of the ones that do the picnic businesses, one of the ones that do the cheese platter businesses, just like get all your ducks in a row, put on fab events, make it look good, make it look real Instagrammy. Anyway, so she, like gets Guillermo to like come help her, and he's like her little boy. I don't know how to say that. I mean, it's true though, her little like literal boy. Um, and she's like being very bossy, and there's just a common thread between her and Kara, and sorry, Kara's who we're talking about, Kara and Emily. And that common thread is twofold. One, a very controlling woman who is nagging, controlling, mean spirited, emasculating, rude, and disrespectful to their significant other. In this case, Guillermo or Kobe. These two people have that in common. Now, of course, I'm not saying that this is every woman, God bless, because, like I would say, whatever's happening with Bilal and Shai, quite different. But, and obviously, even Muhammad we'll talk about too. We're saving some of the best for last. Don't even worry about it. So in this situation, Guillermo just has to like be there, being like, okay, is this enough of how you blow it up? Which is like more, less, más, God bless. He's like, okay, what do you think of doing this? She's like, don't even tell me. I don't even want to hear it. She like basically is just being incredibly rude, just like condescending, rude, short, cold. I mean, for someone who's like working with her, it's weird. Anyway, so then they have the reunion, which looks boring AF. I mean, there's just little tables, people just are sitting at the tables. I mean, mine wasn't great either, but God bless. So now she's talked about the fact that her ex is going to be there and that they're going to meet her ex. Okay, so the ex is there. I think the ex's name is Chris, which is LOL. Now, Chris, I guess when Kara dated him, he was like a whole ass jock. And now he's like, oh no, his name is not Chris. I put it down. Oh no, it is. But he went from jock to like Jock Harlow. No, he's like a rap. He like fancies himself a rapper. Has like like a hat on. It's very like he just has a whole like demeanor that like is put on. That's how I would say it. Especially because that's what I feel like Kara says. Like Kara's like, oh, it's like I've known him my whole life, and he's like this, and then like so like now like a couple years later he's like that. It's like not like maybe the person that I knew as much, but he's silly or whatever she says. So he's like, Kara, you look good. She's like, well, I work out by dancing, honey, the ballroom dancing. So I actually would be interested in ballroom dancing. So listen, if Benny wants to teach with me, I'm just kidding. So or if Kara, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna get it done by myself, by a professional. Chris likes talking to Kara, and Kara is at one point warm and whatnot, and then she brings Guillermo over, and he meets Guillermo, and he's like, look, let's be honest, that girl is controlling. Now, when he says it, Guillermo's eyes are like, it was painful. He's trying to look like, I'm not going to be your BFF and like get on your side over my girl. Like she can be whatever, but I'm my own man, which I just think that Guillermo is just lovely. I think he's like a class act. What a gent. So anyway, he doesn't outwardly say that like you're 100% right and like what is my life and like tell me it's all gonna like get better, because Chris is basically like, no, it's not. And the conversation moves on to like what happened, because he loved her and they were in love and they were like toast of the town and king of that and queen of that and voted best of this, the whole situation. He's like, yeah, we always boned. Like we just like were in love. We boned all the time. And like he basically told Guillermo that. And at one point after just like boning, whatever, They rolled over and she like passed out, and then she got like a phone call or something on his phone, and then so like he picked up her Nokia, her BlackBerry RIM, her BBM. No, I don't even know. What is this? 10 years ago? God no. No, I'm so dumb. 10 years ago, we had iPhones. No, he just like picked up her like iPhone 3, right? 2012. Yeah, you had an iPhone, right? Oh God, I don't know. Chris came to visit Kara during a college break, but yeah, they were in college. But sorry, I forgot that part. But like she was in massage school. Is what she says. Well, she says that she met someone in massage school, honey, later on. So anyway, he gets his phone call and she picks up whatever the phone it is, honey, and he sees like text basically saying like that kiss last night was magical, and I just like can't stop thinking about it. And he says it, and Guillermo's like, oh my God. And he's like, yeah, like she cheated on me, and I have never trusted women since. And Kara's like, oh, so crazy. Oh, is that what it was? I never knew this whole time while you broke up. Scary. I don't even remember, I guess so. Pop, I mean, I don't need to tell you. Guillermo later on is like, do you cheat all the time? She's like, no. I've like cheated like not all the time. Like twice. 20 times. Just add a zero. When she said it, I was like, honey, she cheats all the time. I mean, okay. So then, yeah, he's like, I don't understand how you don't remember. And she's like, I guess it really wasn't that important to me. And that is like honestly one of the bitchiest things ever, and also not true. Like, you literally opened the segment of this storyline being like, this is my high school boyfriend, like did the whole time in high school. Like, we were in love, like first loves. If this was your first love, you probably remember how you ended things with your first love. And he pretty much in this conversation, he's like, yeah, so I found the text on the phone, honey, and I just like left. Like I like ran out that night, never had it since or whatever. And so like basically like she knows what happened. Like, I mean, like if she's literally like, listen, I drink so much, I blacked out so much, and Guillermo can like attest to that because he's already told you how much I drink and black out. I don't remember. Then maybe that's a conversation that we have. Um I love this. Absolutely. If she admits it to you, you can bet there are a lot more. It's like the math that you do for like any vice. How many people you slept with, how many cheating times, like how many. It's like, like mom. It's always way more than mom. You know what I'm saying? I love everyone. I still had a BlackBerry in 2012. It could have been. I can't remember. I was like trying to think of like what happened in 2012. You could tell me. I'm like 2012. Maybe we did have Blackberries. We're already in like. It seems maybe like around that iPhone ones came out, and like maybe Blackberries were still around. Okay, so that's all I had to say about them. So after that, they just go back and stab all the balloons. But there's some extra star balloons. And he's like, hey, I'm just gonna like keep these star balloons so I can just like hang them out. I'm just gonna like hand them out to like some kids. And she literally is like, stabs him right in front of his face. Like if he didn't say what he was gonna do with him. There was no reason to. She's like, what are you gonna have time to do that? We don't have time for that. We know it. We'll never have time for that. You're dumb. You're not gonna get a computer. You're dumb. Sorry. Blow up that balloon. Like Anna. It's sad. Who would want that? I think that I think that I have a tendency to be a little controlling. And as we move on to Kobe and Emily, and we talk about this again, I really feel like there are opportunities, I guess, there are opportunities, I should say, in watching the show to see some of your own toxic behavior and try and remedy that because you can only hope they are doing that. Like I would hope that like Kara watches this and is like, oh man, I'm like really mean to like Guillermo. Yeah, that was so weird. Yeah, that was funny. Guillermo needs to follow her ex's advice, just say no. Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, that was the one thing Chris said, like Guillermo, like, just say no to her. She needs a man to like stand up, I guess. Well, I don't know if she needs a man. I mean, I don't know if she would say that she wants a man to stand up. She might say the opposite. In fact, she kind of did, which was when he asked her to change, and by change, basically to listen to him and take into account what his wants and needs are, and give and take the balance of the power of the relationship. She was, of course, defensive and sort of like, but it's great that you like are, you and I'm me and that I get to do whatever I want. And I don't feel like you love every part of me when you don't like all those mean things I do to you. He's like, who are you? How are you 30 almost? Or whatever you are. How? Anyway, I don't know, honey. I think that like I've heard the spoiler of like where they are now, which by the way, if you want me to tell you and if you don't, uh I'm gonna say it. So just if you don't want to hear, I will give you a 5-second countdown. Five, four, three, two, one. They're married. So they're married. So maybe they'll be on the next season. I don't know what to tell you, but I mean, like, ugh, God bless. It just, I mean, both Chris's, me, and her ex don't think it's gonna last. And we all think that Guillermo's a stand-up great guy. I think Kara has some life to live, honey. I don't know what to tell you about that. They are married though, so maybe they'll just be on the next season, and that's what their thing is, and like we'll see what happens, and they're gonna like play this card, I guess, or whatever. But I hope by now he gets his own computer. Okay. Wait. Good. Guillermo can get his go. Good. Guillermo can get his green card and move on. Okay. Okay. So someone tell me when she is done. I'm done. Okay. I have her on mute. Oh. We have two couples left. Can you believe it? We have the best. We have Bilal and Shai. We have Eve and Mohammed. Let's start with Bilal and Shai. I think so, don't you? Wasn't a very long segment of theirs, but one that was juicy, I think, because it involved the first time that we actually got any sort of romantic aspect of their relationship, which is this date that they have wanted to go on. Now, Shai looks gorgeous. She's wearing, oh my God, like a beige, beautiful cream, like almost like light camel, like, oh, I loved it so much. Just like, whatever it is, beige. Like I already said, like, why do I have to keep saying words? Camel, stop it. Okay, but then like trench coat with gold hardware and like a cream colored purse. It looked a little bit like a Chanel boy bag knockoff. Great. She looked great. He's like dressed up. She starts saying that like he's romantic and it's so nice to have someone that's romantic. And I start to be like, yeah, that'd be really nice. Like, I think that, yeah, I would love someone romantic because I guess the idea of someone romantic is someone who shows their romantic love for you. Is that what it is? Romantic feelings for you, romantic idea of you. Someone, what does it mean to you for a man to be romantic? That he does romantic gestures? That he what gets you a card or he'll like write you a love letter? That he isn't afraid to discuss his feelings with you? That there are just what grand gestures, there's flowers? Is it gestures? Is it gifts? Is it quality of time? Is it emotional communication? Is it all of that and more? There's so many people in this world that there's so many like spectrums, right? And like the way in which you express romantic love is so different. There's so many people that are cold or dismissive or avoidant. That expressing romantic feelings puts them in a space that they feel uncomfortable enough to avoid it. I mean, even to the detriment of their own relationships. Maybe they haven't been shown, they didn't grow up in a household where romance was a thing, or they even or literally existed. You know, I I think that yes, compliments are little gestures. Yes, all of it. It's interesting that she says that he's romantic because in this moment he is taking her on a date, right? So we're seeing that. And he's wearing a suit and she's dressed up. Okay. Is it the fact that he has told her he's going to take her on a date is the romantic thing? Or is there all these other actions we haven't seen when he went to visit her? Because I'll tell you that of the Bilal we've seen in America, like since the show started, like we're on episode again 7. So in the 7 episodes of Bilal that I've seen, one word I would have never used to describe him is romantic. Not at all. I didn't see it. So it was confusing when she said it. But in this situation, they're walking and she's like, "Oh, look, a gondola. Oh, that's so lovely." And then so she's like, "Well, someday we'll have to go." And then he like leads her over there and he's like, "Well, that someday is now." She's like, "At night?" And that's an interesting, oh, she would have rather gone on the day we could see things. Okay. And then I don't know why my nose is itchy. I don't have snot there. Just really itches. It feels like I have like a little like piece of like feather in there. Not a piece of feather, like some sort of dust bunny. So, anyways, he's like, "Yes, honey, tonight we're going on the gondola, just like the Parisians, Paris." He says something along the lines of where this person honestly thinks that gondolas are in Paris. And me and you, honey, we heard it. And we were like, "No, that is Venice and Amsterdam." There are other cities for sure with canals, 100%. But when you think of a gondola, you think of Italy, and you definitely think of Venice. Oh, yes. Now, just other beautiful cities with canals. Oh my God, Amsterdam. So just throwing that out there. Gorgeous. Amsterdam is kind of like Venice and Paris together, which is what Bilal thought Venice was. Anyway, so they get in this gondola and they're talking and because they're riding and they both sort of connect over this idea of having wanted to find the love of their life, their soulmate, and having thought that it wasn't going to be in the cards for them. You know, it was sort of like her saying it literally, I watched everyone do it and I never knew why it was going to happen for me. And we've already seen the pain of that because she cried to her friend about wanting kids and never knowing if that's going to really happen for her. And he again agreed and was sort of like, "Well, you know, me with the whole divorce. Yeah, no, I thought that I was, but then that." And he let one more comment go, which is that he felt unwanted by the divorce, which then made me really want to know what happened. Did that ex-wife just peace out because she was tired of the lecture? She was like, "I graduated. Sorry, I'm It's been 7 years. So I'm going to take my diploma and leave, sir. Thank you so much. Bilal University. Because we'll talk about it. Obviously, he does lecture. So she's emotional as she says, I found you and I think that this is it, blah, blah, blue. And he's like, yes, it also has been so hard for me to find the love of my life. And I want so badly for, my soulmate to, and for me to, yes, be married. And yes. And what you are saying, it's so good to hear. Definitely not, oh, shy, yes. He's, complimentary towards her. He thinks she's like great, but he's not in the moment wanting to give her any sort of security. He doesn't want, I don't know, like, what is the word? He doesn't ever want to make her feel comfortable. He won't give it to her. He won't give her that breath and comfort. Everything is like walking on eggshells. She's like, okay. Also, I want a child. And he's like, well, children, moment to tell you, just ruin everything. They ruin it all. I mean, I just asked what happened in his relationship. I feel like I know. I feel like when they had kids, he started making it 100% about him. And his wife, the ex wife, was like, no, dude, we got kids. And they're like, they're more important. You're dumb. You're like narcissistic and you like lecture. I can't stand it. I'm going to raise these kids. Like, I don't really like you. I can't stand it. I can't stand you. So you have no power over me anymore. I'm just going to leave. And Bilal must have really that must have really hit for him. But Bilal didn't do the therapy after that relationship dissolved. Bilal invested in Bilal. The superficial aspects of Bilal. And I cannot tell you why his seemingly commitment to spirituality and religion hasn't been able to humble him and be able to speak to him in such a way. It hasn't been able for him to understand there's a higher power than him. So he's not the highest power. That's what's confusing. He acts, yeah, I guess there's two ways of being a religious person is like, and if in religious monotheistic religions, which is those that are humble because they are under the power structure of a perhaps patriarchal, and or I'll just stick with monotheistic religion, and therefore they are under that, and therefore they're not God, right? God bless. Sure. But then there's some people that like somehow think they become God, even though that's not part of the religion. Maybe like if you're a Catholic or Christian, we are said it's we're made in his image, but we're not like you're God, and therefore you can. Okay, well, God is you are part of God, but you're not the all powerful being. You are part of the world. Your energy and light and warmth aid in the world's positively in light. But I mean, I just can't with Bilal's mindset of ignorance mixed with extreme narcissism. So Let's move on for the final couple of the night, Yvette and Mohammed. Now, I can't wait to hear all of your opinions because as I watched this, I'm going to tell you that I'm not going to die on any sort of hill for one person or another, but I am going to say that I feel for Muhammad. And I hate that about myself, but I'm going to tell you I feel for him and I'll tell you why. At the end of it, I tell you what happens, which is Muhammad and Yvette are, you know, feeling each other out in the first days of Muhammad being there. And they've had some roadblocks. They've also had some dirty butts. Just kidding. Ha ha ha. Hopefully the bidet is up and running, literally running water up their butts. But there's been ha ha ha. But there's been some challenges, and it truly feels like in their confessionals, like they haven't ever truly communicated in a way where the way they view each other and their future together has been said well through a Google Translate app or through a translator. They fight during this where they're like, I said this, you said this. Like, I don't think they knew. I don't feel like they talk. And he's really young and she's seasoned. And she has some responsibilities and things. So I have to put some of the emphasis on her to get it right. He has nothing to lose. He has a green card to win, nothing to lose. And you, mama, have like some things going on. So I don't get it why she truly thinks that this like young Muslim dude who's very traditional is just going to come live in your house, never be Muslim, never live by those tenets, not care about how he lives or how you live or how his kid lives or any of it. Like as if he'd never lived in Egypt, as if that culture, he's going to blink, blink, and it's gone. Like, he feels like he thinks he's on vacation. I just feel like he was like, I'll take this trip and see what it's like. They're going to go out to dinner with her squad, she says. And we have known the squad in the earlier episodes, like her friends that she does yoga with, honey, and those like tights or whatever. And I'll tell you right now, Eve has, I think, a lot of my like respect. And I think that she probably is a really fun and good acupuncturist. But one thing Eve does not have, honey, and I mean this 100%, is elegant, lovely, tasteful, good, feminine, attractive, my and or flattering style. Not for her clothes, not for her house. All of it. None of those girls do. None of her friends. So it's not just her fault because there seems to be like a common thread. It's a very cheap thread. She is a whole working woman. But yeah, I mean, from the knickknacks and patty wax all over her house, the way she decorated her house, honey, to like this purple dress that she has on, honey, when she comes out and Muhammad like looks at her and he's like, "You can't wear that. Your butt's showing." Now, butt's a big word. What's showing is like her thong through her dress, and I'm not saying it's like it just doesn't look good. It looks bad. Looks not good. Doesn't look good. If I was her friend, I would tell her it doesn't look good. I wouldn't be like, don't be a slut. Don't wear that. Your thumbs look so slutty. I'd be like, oh, no, girl, change it on. It doesn't look good for you. So it's not attractive. It's not flattering. It's not slutty or not. It's ugly. It's just ugly. Don't do it to yourself. Why? Okay. Um, did I talk about you know what? I didn't think about. I still have to talk about Kobe and Emily, right? I think I just realized I haven't talked about them. Did I talk about them? Oh my god, I did talk about them. Did I talk about the peanuts? Oh god, it's been so long. You guys tell me if I missed it. Wait, tell me if I missed it already. I'm like losing my mind. Okay. I don't mind talking about it if I messed up. Okay, so sorry, my love's off track. Again, she's like, okay, well, put on a longer jacket. She's like upset. I'm like, girl, just put on Spanx or not Spanx. Just take the underwear off. Just do something. I don't know, a slip. Honey, so many options. Just like whatever it is, just like tights. Just, I don't know. See, I don't know, something. Okay, so then she goes to dinner and all her friends are there. And her friends are rough looking. I don't have to tell you. Like none of these women like have a good style. And I'm just telling them because I just want them to know that like if they want to like step it up, they can. There's a lot to be done. One girl just has like so much plastic surgery and her titties are just like push, 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 push. And then she's just out and they all are mean to him. I'm just saying he can have whatever opinions and feelings he wants of his woman. Like, and they are his friends, her friends. So the truth of the matter is if she wants to wear something, she can wear whatever she wants, Yvette. And I think it's between Muhammad and Yvette. This is a conversation between the people in the relationship and not all of these other people. It makes no sense. So anyway, so I think it's rude of Yvette to like even have this happen. But basically what happens is they're all like, Muhammad, have you ever like effed anyone before? Have you ever kissed anyone before? Muhammad, have you like watched porn? Muhammad, do you like masturbate? Muhammad, like, what do you feel about this? Muhammad, what do you think of my tits? Muhammad, do you like literally like are just so crazy to him? And he's like, yes, I don't know. Yes. You know, like God bless. You know, he's doing his absolute best. I mean, truly for someone who's on camera. But I mean, then yeah, later on, okay, so later on in the dinner, then Yvette like throws him in the bus. She's like, "Yeah, and he hates that I'm in a bikini, you know, like even though he met me like on Instagram in a bikini, they're like, they're like, Muhammad, do you like bikinis?" And he's just like, "Look, like I don't care about you. You guys can do whatever you want. I hope never to see you again. But yes, I don't want my woman in a bikini." Now, here's the thing. That's a deal breaker, isn't it? That's a deal breaker, isn't it? For you, probably. I mean, for me, I'm not Muslim. It's a deal breaker. Actually, I don't wear bikinis, so the only reason why I'm not like deal breaker. But you know, if I wear hot things all the time. So if he was like, you can't wear anything that like is like bodycon, you have to wear like a let's just say like if a man was like, you have to wear a hijab and burqa for the rest of your life, I would be like, oh, that's a deal breaker. No thanks. Yvette knows the bikini is a problem. That's why she brought it up. I don't understand why Yvette doesn't just make a decision. If the bikini conversation or the bikini want is not something she wants, then she just says no. And there's not a conversation to be had in front of your friends. So anyway, so God bless. He in the car later on is like, can we talk about that conversation with your friends at dinner? And it was like super rude. She's like, what? It is, you know, and it's like, yeah. And it's like, he actually says, you brought this up, which should have been between me and you in front of them. And they were judging me the entire time. They're thinking that I'm like judging them, but like it's them. And she knows that he's right. Because in this one moment, he's right. Because a clock is right in the forest twice a day, a broken clock. So, anyway, um, looking back at my notes, the bots are crazy, guys. The craziest bots of my life. I know. I just feel like It's weird when people don't understand cultures. It's weird for people to, from two different walks of life to just like stand on side, scream at each other. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it. Makes me feel like I get, you know, how hard it is truly to be in a relationship. It's why probably yes, certain aspects of relationships are easier when you are with someone that shares commonalities to you, and it's not just like, I'm not saying like everyone has to like marry everyone who's the same race and the same religion and the same uh, nationality and the same, even like whatever it is. But along the lines, you have so many different policies, personal policies, if you will. You need to find someone that across the board aligns with the majority. And sometimes that person could be a different religion and can be a different race. It can be a different ethnicity. It can be different nationality, all of it. It can be a different age or political party. You could have one or two major differences with someone and still have a whole host of other things that align so perfectly that it makes it easy. But I think that if you are extremely involved in a religion, whatever that religion has as tenets, you're going to have to find someone who naturally aligns with that. There are people who are more modest than Yvette. There are people who are definitely more immodest than Yvette, like her friend. Just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? There are more. There are people that are just so many different types of people in this world. But Muhammad seems a little conservative, right? From a super conservative religion already, kind of, right? From a religious and conservative part of the world. So it's not like a whole shock that he would feel the way he does. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, what, Muhammad? Oh my God. How could you do that? How could you think that? How could you be upset about bikinis? How could you just not let women? Because he's grown up his whole life never seeing that. It is not how he was raised to even understand women that would be married. And the fact that I have, so that's why. I'm not going to sit here like like a bunch of cackling people and be like, why is this person the way he is? He's 20 nothing from the country. He's his first time in America. First time out of the country is probably, what are you talking about? These biddies, honey, these biddies with their boobies out, these booby biddies out, honey, with their beers, booby biddy beers, honey, out. No. And I want to be on women's sides and, God bless, but absolutely not. You're wrong. You're wrong for this. Find other men that align with you. Don't like judge someone who and get mad at him who obviously is not going to align with you. I don't really know what to tell you. It's a huge waste of like energy and breath. And yeah, if this was like at all changed in such a way where the foreigner was a female and she was in America and then, the man's friends took her out. And we've seen this scene, by the way, happen where they start to grill her about certain things and make her feel uncomfortable and or judged. We would hate it. We wouldn't like it. We'd be like pitchforks. It'd be like beating the beast. It'd be like, kill the beast. I love you guys. I love you guys. Will you please thumbs up this video? Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate all of you guys here. Okay. Did I not talk about Emily and Kobe? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. So Emily and Kobe. Oh my God. So it's the morning after, right? It's the morning after, my loves. And basically, Emily wakes up super early and because Coven wakes up early. And as we know now, Coven runs this house. Honey runs it. We thought it was Emily, but Emily said that's Coven. I don't know. Coven's up. She like brings Coven in, to Kobe's bed. It's like, it is so early. It looks like it's blue light barely piercing through the curtains. So We think that she's just gonna like put the baby in the bed, but the baby goes to the boob first. Fine, fine, fine. And then, like he gets some time, gets to like brush the baby's teeth, and the baby's, is just starting to feel out Kobe, and it's like that's chill, and it kind of works out, and we're like, okay, all right, okay. And they're gonna go see the town, honey. And he wants to drive. He wants to drive, and he's like, I can absolutely drive in America. There's literally no one on these streets, and they're the hugest streets in the whole world, and you have no idea what I'm used to, which is basically a free for all. So this is nothing. I can do it. She's like, you're not gonna drive with my baby in the car for the first time. He's like, it's also my baby, and she's like, it's my car. I think that Emily needs to dial it down. I don't care if it's her car. I don't care if she, feels a certain way about her priority over parenting over his. Like, it's the first couple of days, and I just don't get, unless you just really tell me it's a hormonal thing, how someone can be so not empathetic or unempathetic to not see that this person is a grown ass man. Kobe is like a grown ass man. He's kind of like a masked dude, like it's OBS. Sorry, I'm abbreviating everything, but I just, I get that it's her car, and I get that. I can say this. I think that this moment happens because she has been so nagging and controlling. So she's so controlling over every single aspect that even if one thing she wanted to die on a hill for, and we could, like see whatever it is, let's just say it's going to come later and it's the peanut thing. The way that she talks to Kobe is what really is the rub. It's unacceptable for someone who you love, for someone who is the father of your child, for all of it. It doesn't also bode well for how you respect this person and how this person feels respected in your eyes and the relationship. But I also think that if I was to be honest with you, I think that this hyper controllingness that Emily does is a whole ass thing that is like a whole ass thing that a lot of women deal with. Yeah, where you yeah, I get, okay, this is something because I don't have a child, but I can feel the need to hyper control situations. It happens for some reason in restaurants. I don't know what it is. In restaurants, I get, is it anxious, where I need to hyper control everything, where I'm sitting, where we're sitting, how long it's taken for my order to get in to take, I'm sorry, I can't talk. Like if I, it's not, and the funny thing is I have worked at a restaurant before, but it's like, because I know what service is, if I get really bad service or I feel like I've been forgotten or whatever, I don't get it. It makes me really upset. I hate having bad tables. I hate, whatever it is. Ordering, I can be super controlling about. I wish I wasn't. It's very different from what I'm seeing with Emily, but I can see the ways in which we regulate situations and our emotions by putting up loudly what we want without hearing and having space and room for what others want, who are there too, who are there too. And I always think I have a problem with this because I'm an only child, and I don't know if you've been here when I've talked about this before, but one of the tenets of like philosophy, if we're talking about the ontological like argument for the existence of God, or whether we exist and what exists for us is like this brain in that theory matrix style. What's real, what's not. I feel real. I know I have a brain because I like talk and I have lived my whole life. But what if everything I experience, including all you all, what if everything I'm seeing in my ring light and my computer and 90 Day every week is all a simulation? And I'm like not even walking through this world, but somehow asleep somewhere. And there's like a big cord in the back of my neck, and or my brain only exists in some sort of vat, some sort of like chemical compounded vat in a scientist's lab. And I am like hallucinating the entirety of my existence. That means you wouldn't exist, which means I think I want to do is what the only thing that matters. Emily must feel this way. That's how I got to this. And I also think Bilal feels this way. Their existence in this situation, their wants, their needs, their own sensory absorption, and the decisions they made hyper in the moment are the only good ones and the only right ones, the only true ones. No one else exists. Children, then, I don't even know, do children exist in such a situation, or are children some sort of like extra level, extra like treasure you get in this simulation / video game that you just have to now carry on for the rest of your life? If you make it to the end, it means you get some extra points. I mean, anyway. It's hard to watch Emily and her mom be with Kobe and Coben. Like, it's hard. You just want this man to like just take his baby and just be somewhere for like 2 weeks without any meddling woman telling him anything. At the same time, I'm not quite sure that baby could eat that peanut yet. I don't know. Seems not yet. But again, because everything else happened, it's bad. So basically what happens is this. So Kobe is given some time, even though it's under the incredibly watchful, hawk-eyed, owl-faced eyes of Emily's mom. When Emily goes away, Emily's mom's like, hey, but here's the food. Emily comes back within like a nanosecond, and he's like, okay, great. So you're back. I'm just going to like, I want him to like try something of my, like my hometown, and it's like a peanut. It's like peanuts. It's like he describes it as peanut parts. It's like ground peanuts, like what you make peanut butter from. Ground peanuts. And she's not into it. So, but yeah, her method of delivery for her, not wanting her son to eat this is over the top, callously cold. I think for someone who has to understand how he has been like treated the entire time, which is he got kicked out of the bed, and he feels like he's just your, like your aunt, honey, that is like in town to meet the baby, that you're driving around to see the town in the passenger seat. Somehow also this aunt you forced to make love to you the first night without even meeting the kid. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I think that there's a way of respecting your loved one. And I think that especially if your loved one feels a certain set of pride and feels a certain security in that, you have to make sure that person feels comfortable. It's like the opposite, I guess, of what's happening with Bilal and Shai. Bilal will not let Shai feel comfortable. And I would like to think like sitting in her own femininity could be like the way I would say that, by making her feel loved, wanted, appreciated, cared for, like she could be in a place that, is comfortable and clean. But no, he brings and pranks her with this house and is, like making her feel like she's not good enough, and also like won't give her, like something totally normal by having her have a kid. Like she hasn't had a kid and she would like one. She's been very upfront with you, and you're making it seem like it's an unnecessary thing. He literally says the word unnecessary, and it's like, no, just to you, but it's necessary to her. It's crazy. He only sees the relationship within his own context. And at the same time, because of that, she feels, again, uncomfortable, insecure. And I feel it's the same with like Emily, in a different way, Emily and Kobe. Like, she isn't allowing him to fill the space that he should fill. She's not letting go enough for him to do that at all, so that even when small things come up, since none of it's been handled right, none of it gets handled right. And I just feel, yeah, like this person's Kobe is just taking it and taking it and taking it. I feel like with the driving thing, he's gonna burst sometime. And burst, I mean, just not maybe over it. I think that he's a lovely, genteel man. I think he's just gonna be like, F you, Emily. You're different, which is basically said, this is not how it was. We had it good. We were on the same page, and you're completely different now. I mean, specifically like psychologically and emotionally different. You don't treat me the same way. You're not nice to me. You don't seem to like respect me. I don't know. Could you imagine if Emily and Bilal were together? I mean, could you imagine that? Sometimes it'd be fun just to see. Remember Wife Swap, that show? First of all, I loved Wife Swap. I wouldn't always watch it, but for some reason, it's one of those shows where I would watch like every once in a while. And whenever an episode of Wife Swap came on, it was always good. No, it's always good. Um, anyway, I that's all I have to say about this episode. I love you guys so much. Can you believe it? An hour and a half to talk about an hour and a half episode. Truly. I just don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I will see what happens in next week's episode. I'm excited to see it. I do think that Emily needs to be, Emily needs to understand like the consequences of like not listening and not being open to like Kobe, and not like allowing this man to be a father and a man. I think Kara has to like allow Guillermo to be a man. And I think Bilal has to allow Shai to be a woman. And I think that Yvette and Muhammad have to leave each other immediately. Mion and Jibri, I don't really care about. And Patrick and Ty, I missed this episode. I can't wait to see more. Wow, it feels fast with you entertaining us. Thank you, Chris. But it's really not. I've really been talking for like an hour and 28 minutes, 15 seconds. But thank you so much, honey. Ryder, you're the best. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, that's awesome. God, I really want to speak more languages. Every time I hear anyone that speaks more languages than me, I just truly, or speaks more languages, I'm always just like, yeah, envious. It just feels so, it feels like it would feel so great and powerful to go to a whole country and be able to talk to people. Like, I always think that, like, because it's a goal of mine, like, if I knew French and Arabic, right, like a good Lebanese person should, if I knew French and Arabic, I could talk to so many people. Like, what a superpower. So many countries speak French. So many countries speak Arabic. It's crazy to me that I could talk to all of those people if I went to those places, if I knew those languages. Um, anyway, so God bless it. Uh, I love you guys so much. It has a baby French book. I'm absolutely buying it. If you mean like he authored it, I'm buying it. His little like teaching French colors, too much. Kobin and Shai should be beautiful together. Yeah. He makes gorgeous kids. You know what? I have been on Duolingo before. The Duolingo Arabic is so hard because Duolingo Arabic like makes you like read it first, Miriam. Ooh. But Duolingo French is actually totally doable. I just have to get back to doing it, to Duolingoing it. Um, all right, baby boos. Again, I really just appreciate all of your comments here and your energy here. I hope so much that you had if you're in America, that you had a happy, fun, safe Memorial Day weekend. If you are not in America, God bless. No, there's just all these shootings, happening here right now, and just a bunch of people just yelling at each other. That's all it is. A bunch of people yelling at each other. I don't know what to tell you. I do not know the answer politically. Okay, I truly don't. The only thing that like speaks to me, I guess, is that we have to learn to show love to each other and show warmth. So I guess it's almost like we have to be romantic more. We have to show our love more, except not romantic love, obviously. We have to be romantic, though, if that's what it means. To express love, to show that we love. Because it just feels like, specifically with the pandemic and the isolation that happened with that, on top of the isolation that was already happening with social media and the internet, and the way that kids are growing up and all of it, the mental health issues that we are being privy to, it is imperative to me, even if, again, everything is a simulation in my mind, that love is the answer, that people need to feel love, that I'm sitting here talking about the show all the time. And to me, what speaks most is like what people are doing because they are lonely. And I get it. The disconnection, the loneliness, the feeling isolated, the feel like you are alone, that everything's against you, that you aren't loved, that, barring chemical depression, which is like kind of like a offshoot of maybe some of those feelings. I wonder what would happen if we could find some way to connect more. And I think that happens in the individual, whether that means that you balance your life, your work, and balance your work commitment life, your work and fun life. I'm not saying you go to bars. I'm not saying, you go to clubs every weekend, but that means that you make sure that if you are lonely, if you feel that loneliness that eats at you, that you can fill your time by doing things, joining sports leagues, going to like workout classes. That's what I do. Joining groups or volunteer organizations. I mean, being of service is like a whole other incredible secret to combat some of the feelings of helplessness and loneliness that we have. Quasi's here. So that's one way, and that is you being a catalyst to find the love that you might be searching for in your life. And then the other answer is, of course, to give it, because the more that we give, the more that we have the capacity to receive. And the more that you give, the more that you attract people who will also give. Their love, their light, their warmth, their energy, their time, their affection, their attention, their vulnerability, their secrets, their presence. Right? I don't know. So I think there's a lot of answers. And I don't have them all. But I think that what I'm speaking of tonight is the one that I think is like doable in a way that doesn't require voting or hoping that politicians do certain things. I think there is a capacity for society to bring back certain feelings of community. Because when I think that we think of, 90 Day Fiancé has us studying all these cultures, right? Not studying, but we see cultures, different cultures, in the way that family and community works in different cultures. And in America, we're very individualistic. And I think that we starve ourselves sometimes from the things I'm speaking of because of that. And I do think that when we talk about self-help and we talk about emotional maturity and we talk about the growth of society, I think that the way that we communicate the best, since we don't speak all the languages, is again touching each other's hearts. Which is why I think art is important, which is why I say what I say at the end of every live. Because I think that art's a way in which you touch each other's hearts. Is somehow art can break down barriers and walls, kind of like wake you up from spells or like pierce through stained panes of glass that we've been looking through in such a way. Music, dance, theater, comedy. And so when I say, volunteer organizations and stuff, there really is such a list of ways in which to feel that like universal spirit. And that is of true, being service is of true, being with friends and family is being of true, making art and taking in art is all the truth, all of like the spiritual and soul growth and like the community aspect and whatever your idea of God is. If you are hearing me talk enough, I really feel like there's a divine energy that connects us. God bless. And so the universe and God is one within all of this. It is a power that we do not know. It doesn't take a form that we understand in the context that we know. So it's not some sort of patriarchal fatherly God that we is maybe like something it could the form of God and this universal loving energy is whatever you want it to be. And truly for me, it's always been somewhat of a female figure, female understanding of what that is. It just feels that way to me, but I understand it to be like not truly either way or the other. But in that realm, connecting with that energy is however you can, and whatever aspect you can connect with it. Sometimes it's through other people, and sometimes it's through art, and sometimes it's through service, and sometimes it's through love, and sometimes it's through sex. There are so many ways to like touch that kind of like life-giving energy. And the differences in the different kinds of love are all the ways in which to do it, right? The love we have for our children versus the love we have for our soulmates, through the love we have for our grandmas, the love we have for, our nieces and nephews. Those moments that we share, those loves with those humans, transcend most daily aspects, I think, if I was to speak for us, of our lives. Those are the moments that are the most important. More of those moments mean less pain, less trauma. More of those moments mean dealing with pain and trauma just feels maybe that much easier to bear, if any. All right, my love. So many things to talk about. Another time, another day. Let's take a breath, if you will. Um, I'm not always a little philosopher, but of course, sometimes it hits. We're going to take a breath, but of course, okay, we'll take a breath first, and we'll go into my other things. Let's take a breath together. Let everything out. Take a deep breath in with me. Yes, my loves, all of it, the balance. So you can give and you can take. Taking care of yourselves and taking care of other people, also important. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, you can. I am at Chris L. Fair. The L is for love. I also have a private Facebook group, and that's called Vanity Fair. I always post before I go live. I try and give as much heads up as I possibly can. I'm so thankful for my super chat tonight. Thank you so much, Brittany. I hope when you watch this again, you're like, what did that girl go in? And also anyone just commenting, thank you so much for just liking this video, like giving it a thumbs up. So important, truly. Thank you for like sharing this video. Just like, if you think I'm funny, if you think I'm like whatever interesting, and you have like one best friend who you think would like get things like you do, just go ahead and share this video. I don't know. Or share whatever you love, whatever your favorite video is of mine. I could really use maybe just like, I think a state of intention to like grow my community. I really would love to bring in people who connect with us. I want to put out the energy to bring in as many more beautiful people like I have here tonight. Because I think that's probably what's going to happen in this world anyway. And so it's fun that's going to be able to happen on social media, All right, my loves, here we are. Thank you to my mods tonight specifically for all of their quick thumbs. Honey, the quick and the dead tonight, those mods, honey. I owe you all like Amazon cards or something, truly, for today. I love you guys, truly. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a great week. I hope wherever you are, I hope that there is a lot of warmth and light in your soul. And I hope that you are giving it and getting it. And for those that are feeling any sort of trauma, and for anyone that has had to deal with the horror of the school shootings of recent memory, and the shooting that happened in Buffalo and Laguna Niguel too. The mental issue, gun issue is just so hard, and my heart goes out to all affected. God bless it. Okay, my loves. All right, that's it. So yeah, take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art. Okay, my loves? It's important. Even if your art's porn, Muhammad's not going to watch, but listen, only fans. I'm just kidding. I love you. Bye.